Finally, the time has come. You no longer have to choose between conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Today, unlike years past, your team of doctors from all disciplines are working together side by side for the benefit of you, the patient, to help you regain your health and cross the bridge.
Hi again. Welcome back to the Bridge to Health. My name is Dr. Tom Dow. And each week on our shows, if you watched them in the past, if not, we have different guests from different healthcare disciplines. And our goal in our show is to show you how to cross the bridge so you can obtain better or optimal health. Each one of our practitioners is part of our team that works together as a complete team to give you, the patient, the best possible care. Many times in the past, I've spoken about the wheel of health. The wheel of health is a wheel with 5 spokes. And if all those spokes are strong and tight, the wheel rolls perfectly straight and doesn't wobble. If one of those spokes becomes loose and weak, the wheel will start to wobble. That wobbling causes another spoke to become weak, which causes the wheel to wobble more, till eventually all the spokes become weak and the wheel no longer functions. Your health is no different. If any one of your 5 spokes becomes weak, it affects the other 4 spokes. Your 5 spokes are proper nervous system function, your brain's ability to communicate with the parts of your body, and control and regulate the way your body functions. The second spoke is exercise. The third spoke is nutrition. The 4th spoke is rest, and the 5th spoke is mental attitude or mental state. So here's an example. We have a guy who comes into our office. He's 45 years old. He's 80 pounds overweight, and he comes into us in our chiropractic facility, multidiscipline facility, complaining of lower back pain. If we were just to treat his lower back pain, which might be a herniated disc or a pinched nerve, which is just one spoke, the brain's ability to communicate with the muscles through the nervous system, if we were only to treat that and not address the other 4 spokes, we would be doing an injustice to the patient. And this is why. Because that patient has lower back pain and a herniated disc, he's in pain. That's why he came to us. But if he's 80 pounds, 90 pounds overweight, he will herniate a disc again after we correct it. He will herniate other discs because it's too much pressure on the lower back. So we must counsel him on weight loss. Because the patient's in pain, because he's overweight, he doesn't want to work out. He doesn't want to exercise. He has no motivation to lose that weight because he's in pain. There's a 3rd spoke. Because he doesn't work out, because he's overweight, because he's in pain, he can't sleep at night, so he doesn't get rest. His body doesn't have a chance to heal and recuperate. And what happens when all that happens to anybody? He becomes depressed. His mental attitude is shot. He now, to make himself feel better, he eats more. That's right. So you can see how all one spoke becoming weak affects the other, affects the other, affects the other. And we and our healthcare team must counsel our patients on all the spokes so that wheel runs perfectly straight and that person can cross the bridge with that wheel. Today, I have the great pleasure and honor of having 2 special guests. One is my son. Hello, son. Dr. Tom Dow. Also a chiropractor working in my office counseling the patients on exactly what I just talked about. And Tim Henley, who's into nutrition and bodybuilding and fitness, also our guest. Welcome, Tim. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So today's show is going to be geared toward the exercise spoke. We're going to be talking about why exercise is important, different types of exercises. So let's start off with this first. Son, Dr. Dow, when did you first start exercising? Let's say exercising, forget bodybuilding.
Probably 11, 12 years old.
And doing what? You were a wrestler?
I was a wrestler in high school. I had a long career, 7.5 years career wrestling, until I had to end my career because I couldn't continue wrestling due to the fact I was a little bit under the weight class after high school going into college. And that's when I took up bodybuilding.
What weight class did you wrestle in high school?
96 pounds.
96 pounds in high school. And what do you weigh now?
165.
165 pounds. And probably the same or less body fat than you were then, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that means that you put on probably 50 pounds of muscle since high school, right?
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. And when did you first start bodybuilding, and how did you get into bodybuilding?
2009, I got my first gym membership, and it was at an LA Fitness. That's when I started lifting weights. Then I became very passionate about, building and sculpting my body symmetrically. Once I saw the results, obviously, and that led me into the bodybuilding. My first competition was actually in 2009.
Excellent.
And I've been competing since.
And Tim, when did you first start bodybuilding?
Well, for me, bodybuilding has pretty much been a lifestyle for me. I remember, actually, I'm not sure exactly what age, but earlier age than Dr. Tom had mentioned. My dad ordered a weight set and came to the house, and I was excited about it. It was for him, but actually what happened is I used it more than my dad, and that was, as far as I can remember, my first familiarity with lifting weights and bodybuilding. So I never really equated bodybuilding with weightlifting. It was just something that I did started as a kid, and obviously getting involved with the high school athletics, elementary school to high school athletics, wrestling, as Tom mentioned, all the gymnastics type of things was something that evolved. Bodybuilding, as far as competing, is a little different. It's just a matter of just.
Yeah, we're going to get into competing in a minute.
Okay.
But I want you both to explain to the audience what the difference is between just lifting weights, powerlifting, and bodybuilding. What's the difference?
Anybody can lift weights.
Mm-hmm.
Bodybuilding is more of a way of lifting weights where you build the muscles to grow, not only to become strong, but to also grow in size.
Right.
And powerlifting is more for strength, endurance. Used more like football athletes.
Like you see these big Olympic powerlifters, the Russians. I mean, they're humongous. Their bellies are out to here. Their legs are like this big. That's not an aesthetically pleasing. Well, I don't think anyway. It's an aesthetically pleasing body, as opposed to bodybuilding, where it's not. It may be. I mean, not even near as heavy weights, but it's more towards sculpting. Is that right?
Correct.
Like almost like a statue.
Correct.
You want to sculpt it little by little to get it to the way you want it to look, right?
That's correct, yep.
And how do you determine where to sculpt?
Well, you have to first assess your body and see, look at yourself, obviously, look at yourself in the mirror and see where you need your improvements.
Right.
Every person is going to be different, and they're going to have their strengths. For example, one person, their legs might be built up, and their shoulders not so much. That person might want to focus on building their shoulders into symmetry to match their lower body.
Right. So Tim, most gyms that people go to, they're lined with mirrors.
Yes.
And a lot of lay people, they think they're lined with mirrors because people are vain and they just want to see how good they look. But they're there for a reason. They're there to make sure, I guess, form's correct, right?
Right. And you can see that if you're actually hitting the right muscle groups that you're working out, and also you want to see how you're progressing. It's not just based on you being vain. It's based on just, obviously, you're there to, most people are there to, build muscle, to sculpt their body, so they want to constantly keep
I think,
I think I want to add to that, too. I think there's a psychological component into that, too. When you start seeing your results and you start seeing either bigger muscle bulk or better definition, I think that psychologically reinforces the workouts.
Right. You're getting a visual of your progress.
Right.
Exactly.
Not only during the workout, but over months to see what the changes are.
Yes.
I can remember an old documentary I watched on Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he used to, take photographs. He used to look at pictures of himself all the time, and if he saw like one of his shoulder deltoids was a little bit less than the other one, he would then hit this one twice as hard as the other one until he got the form and the sculpture that he wanted. Is that kind of like what you guys do?
Right.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay. So how important is proper form to bodybuilding? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of teenagers, a lot of kids watching these shows, and I go into gyms all the time, and you know, I did a competition back in 1992. You were there with me. Almost killed me. But I go into gyms all the time, and you see kids jerking weights. You see backs flying. We're chiropractors. We're looking at this, and we're like, oh, my God, this kid's going to herniate a disc. How important is form for a young, beginning bodybuilder?
I'll let you take that one.
Well, you know, I'm an older bodybuilder, so I definitely know the importance of it. And I try to emphasize the importance of that to people who consult me for, you know, some kind of advice. But I think it pertains mostly to the men because of, I think there's the testosterone and the machoism of it all about worrying about how much you can lift. And I always emphasize it's not how much you lift, it's the quality of the lift. And if you want to be in it for the longevity of it, you want to try to prevent injuries. And so I try to teach that you can look good and you don't have to lift heavy weight. It's just a matter of proper form, as you mentioned, doctor. Right. And you know, the message is slowly getting out.
You've seen it all the time. Also, we're in the gym and we see guys in there. Oh, I can do a 120-pound dumbbell press. I can still do it. And the guy's 50 years old, and yeah, okay, you can still do it. But what are you going to be like a year from now after you do it?
I was telling that that's the weekend warrior mentality where they can just go in and think that they're 20 years old again, and do whatever they want to do.
Right.
That's not the case.
And it actually traumatizes the joint more than anything.
Those are the people that end up injured.
Right. So, what is the best advice you could give a 15-year-old person right now who's just starting to go into the gym and wants to start working out? How would you advise that person to start?
Well, at 15, they're still growing. Their body hasn't matured yet.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't reach optimal height. The bones are still growing at that point.
Right.
So I would actually advise that patient to use their own natural body weight as a source of weight rather than added weight.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if they're trying to work out their back muscles, they could simply do pull-ups.
Right.
Instead of doing a machine where you pull it down, and you could add extra weight to that.
Right. Right. Okay. More like push-ups, calisthenics, sit-ups, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Because
what do you think about that?
15 years old, their body has so much time to mature.
Right, and he's so right. It's like, unfortunately, we live in a society now that everybody wants results right now, and no one's willing to understand that, you know, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and they want, you know, we're in a society where we're rushing, waiting on the microwave, you know, to hurry up and warm up our food. But yes, I try to let the 15-year-old in this example know that, yes, you've got plenty of time. Your body hasn't fully grown.
Right.
You'll get there. It's just you have to be patient and allow your body time to grow.
Right.
And that's
on part 2 of our show, which will air after this one, we're going to actually do exercises. We're going to show proper form. We're going to give examples of improper form. So the people who are watching, they might be doing that in the gym right now, and they're going to learn certain things. Now, I want to ask you a question. I was told by my former trainer, Steve Mahalik, who was Mr. Universe, Mr. World, who's since deceased. We miss him a lot. He was, I think, one of the most knowledgeable trainers when it comes to working a muscle that I've ever seen. And what he always told me, I want to know if you guys agree, is that a muscle does not know weight. Muscles know failure. So that if you do 10 bicep curls with, let's say, 30-pound dumbbells, and the muscle fails on the 10th rep, you can't get that 10th rep up, it's the same as doing 3 60-pound dumbbell curls, and the 3rd rep of the 60-pounder, your muscle fails. Do you guys believe that? That you don't really need those super heavy weights to get a muscle to grow? You can use lighter weights as long as the muscle fails with different techniques?
Yes, I believe in it. I like to diversify my workouts, and so there's days I may go light and with a higher rep range, and there's days, obviously, if you're going with a heavier weight, you're going to go a lower rep range.
Right.
But I believe that there's a place in the middle for both. Right. So as far as whether there's a hard belief one way or the other, I'm not sure, but I do diversify my workouts just to keep the muscle guessing.
Right. What do you think?
I couldn't agree with you more on that topic. However, that's going towards the realm of bodybuilding
Right.
rather than powerlifting. Powerlifting, typically in order to get to the competition where they do the strongman competitions and all that, these guys are using super, super heavy weight. And to achieve that, I think that they need to keep working with heavier and heavier weight to
Right.
achieve that goal.
Right, right. No, I was talking specifically about bodybuilding. I was told that, by Steve Mahalik, because he actually roomed with Lou Ferrigno and Arnold in Venice Beach in California for a period of time, that Lou lifted extremely light weights. He never did more than 40, 50-pound dumbbell curls, and he grew to be a monster.
Yeah. Wow.
Because he just did so many reps, or he did supersets, or he did progressives, which we'll talk about what those are later on in the next show, to get the muscle to fail. And look how big Lou got.
Yeah. Well, you could definitely gain muscle size from working out like
Right.
that. Absolutely.
So now comes my next question for all the young people and even some of the older people out there working out in the gym. Steroids. Both of you, I know, are drug-free bodybuilders, all natural, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Never put a steroid in your body.
Correct.
Never.
Okay. So, again, getting back to what you just said, Tim, everybody wants everything yesterday, especially the young kids.
Yes.
They have have peer pressure. They have if they're on football or teams, and they're even doing steroids, from what I read in the media in high school now, just to get bigger, faster, and stronger. Do you think there's a place for that in bodybuilding?
Well, if you want to be healthy, absolutely not. If you want to grow to enormous size, then yeah.
Right. What do you think, Tim?
I agree with Dr. Tom. Yes, it can give you phenomenal gains, but then, you have to weigh the pluses and the minuses.
Risks, yeah.
Because if you plan on living a long life
Right.
and healthy life, what you're doing today could affect you tomorrow. And, whether you're going to have a family and kids. And
Right.
You don't want to do something that you're going to regret later on. And these kids today, they're not thinking about tomorrow. They think that, they're immortal and that, they're going to live forever. And they're going to be young forever.
Right.
And that's not the case.
Tom, what is your age right now? I know, but I want
31.
I want the audience to know. He's
30.
my son. I better know.
Yeah.
And Tim, what is your age?
I'll be 53 this Saturday.
Okay. So I want to show the young people out there who are watching, and even the 51-year-olds out there that are watching, what proper training and nutrition can accomplish without any steroids.
Right.
Can you stand up for a minute for me?
Sure.
And can you just look into your camera right here and just give me a double bicep pose?
Well, oh, yeah.
Just give me a double bicep pose. Okay. Now look at that, the youth of America. Look at that, all the 50-year-olds out there. That's all natural, never a drug in the body, with proper nutrition and training. Thank you, Tim.
That's amazing.
Tom, can you also go over there, take your jacket off?
That's a good accomplishment.
Thank you.
And just show the 31-year-olds out there, and even the kids that are out there, what you can look like without putting a drug in your body, with proper training and nutrition. You're here. Over there. Pretty amazing, I think. That's my boy. Look at that. Definition, size, symmetry. Thank you. Gentlemen, how important is nutrition in this whole bodybuilding scheme of things to get where you guys are right now?
Let me take it first.
Yes.
That's where I get excited about.
Okay.
Because as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, I've been lifting since I can remember. And I always felt no one works harder than I do in the gym. And I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And it took me, unfortunately, later on in life to realize why I worked out so hard, but I wasn't getting the results that I really felt I should be getting until I started concentrating on nutrition. And I put that together along with the working out that I was doing, and that's when my physique really started to take off. And I preached that it's a symmetrical thing. You have to put synergistic thing as far as nutrition, working out, your cardio, putting all that together. So nutrition, I'd say, is a good 85, 90% of bodybuilding.
Right. And Tom, what do you think about that?
I agree with Tim. The body's like a sponge. It soaks up nutrients. And if we put in good nutrients and things that are going to build our muscles, your body's going to thrive and it's going to be successful and growing. If you put in junk food, it's not going to be the same. It's like putting in high test into a car
Right.
and putting in
89 or 87.
Another point I'd like to make to the audience is that people don't realize it, but the higher percentage lean muscle mass you are, the higher your metabolic rate is. So once you get to a certain percent lean muscle mass and a certain percent body fat, your metabolism actually increases.
Right.
So you can actually eat more and still not put on weight because you're burning it up. How many days a week do you train, Tim?
Well, I'm asked that question a lot.
Yep.
In and out of the gym, and some people, I'm sure you've heard the same, you must live in the gym. And it's actually, I spend more time in the kitchen, but it just depends, doctor, how I'm looking, how I'm feeling. I never stick to any one gym regimen as far as hours. I like to diversify my workouts as well, based on what I see and how I feel. So it could vary.
On the average, how many days?
I'd say maybe 4 to 5 days a week.
And when you're in the gym, how many hours are you there each day?
Again, that varies, but I'd say maybe an hour to maybe sometimes 2 hours. It just depends.
Right. How about you? How many days? When you're training hard, how many days a week are you in the gym, and how long are you in the gym for each day?
Well, I train hard all year round.
Right.
I do about, strictly working out the muscles, I do 3 days a week. And I don't go over that because I need my body to rest, and those in between days, I fill my body with good nutrients and enough nutrients to build the muscles. Competition's a little bit different.
Right.
I'll do 3 days, my regular training with the muscles, and then I'll go maybe 3 days of cardio in between the workouts to try to burn the fat off.
And the days you're training your muscles, those 3 days, how long are you actually in the gym training those muscles? And do you train every muscle every day or just certain muscles every day?
It's about an hour and a half, roughly.
Every muscle or just chest one day?
Just one workout. That's 1 day a week. So you do, I'm about total for the week, probably about 4.5 hours. So an hour and a half each day for 3 days.
So 4.5 hours a week out of a whole week you're in the gym. And that's important for people to know, because a lot of people think you got to be in there like 8 hours a day, 6 days a week to accomplish these goals.
And they see us. Although it's a compliment in some ways, but at the same time, we know that we're not spending that much time in the gym. It's a balance, more of a balanced approach. Much time you spend in the gym, you need to spend, concentrating on your nutrition, preparing foods and.
What's your normal day? What kind of food do you eat?
Well, again, it differs a little bit. Obviously, when I'm in season, getting ready for a competition.
Right.
When I'm getting ready for a competition, I'm pretty much regimented with pretty much the same thing every day, the same ounces of meat, and carbohydrates, and so forth. And based on how I look, I may tailor that. I may tweak that, watching some of my carbohydrates.
Wow, so you're changing your diet on a daily basis based on how you think your body looks.
Especially when I'm competing, based on how I'm looking. We all get a little nervous, especially when that contest day is coming.
Yeah.
So you're tweaking your diet a little bit. But the off season is a little different because depending on when your next competition is, we're covered up. It's the winter.
Right.
You allow a little more carbohydrates in, but I still try not to get too far gone and stay close.
All right, gentlemen, we're out of time. I want to thank you both for being on the show. Part 2, which will be next, we're going to go into more detail about nutrition and what you eat, and we're actually going to demonstrate some exercises to show proper form. Thank you very much for coming. It's great having you as guests. And for those of you watching us on Madhousetv, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. For those of you watching us on Cablevision, we'll see you next time. And remember one thing, if what you're looking for is real wealth, join us next time on The Bridge to Health.
Finally, the time has come. You no longer have to choose between conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Today, unlike years past, your team of doctors from all disciplines are working together side by side for the benefit of you, the patient, to help you regain your health and cross the bridge.
Hi again. Welcome back to the Bridge to Health. My name is Dr. Tom Dow. And for those of you who have watched us in the past, each week we have a special guest from a different healthcare discipline talking about different aspects of health. On our last show, we had my son, Dr. Tom Dow, and Tim Henley here speaking about exercise and nutrition. They are all natural amateur bodybuilders. And I want to make it clear that the reason why I brought bodybuilders onto the show that are natural is because I want to show you that it does not take a lot of time in the gym. It does not take a lot of steroids. It doesn't take anything that's not natural to accomplish incredible body goals. And not that that is imperative for every one of you out there, but exercise is imperative for every one of you out there to be in optimal health. Because when you're in good shape, your blood vessels work better, your respiration works better, your heart works better, everything works better. And without exercise, you're not in optimal health. So again, welcome back, gentlemen. Dr. Tom Dow, how are you today?
Good.
Good.
Tim Henley, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you.
Thanks for coming back. And
Thanks for having me.
you're welcome. And on the first show, we talked a lot about what bodybuilding is, how it differs from powerlifting, how important nutrition and things like that are in a bodybuilder's or any person who wants to be healthy's regimen. And we also talked about how important it is for the young people that are out there and also the older people that are out there that when they exercise, if they want to achieve optimal results, that they have perfect form when they exercise, because with better form, you get better results, and you also prevent injuries from occurring. Not immediate acute injuries all the time, but sometimes long-term chronic injuries, wear and tear in a joint from improper mechanics. So what I want to do today is, first, I would like to show the audience some bodybuilding poses. Now, bodybuilding poses, for you in the audience that want to know what this means, is these are poses that bodybuilders do in competitions to show off, not show off, but to demonstrate the growth and the symmetry and the beauty of all the work that they've done And each pose will show off a different muscle group, which I'll explain as they do the poses. And again, the reason why I show you this is not because, for those of you out there who want to cross the bridge to health, that you have to become a bodybuilder to be in optimal health. I just want to show you what the results of good hard work, nutrition, and discipline are without any drugs or steroids, especially for the young children, teenagers that are out there. Tim, will you stand up for a minute, please, right in front here? And just face straight ahead. And I'd like you to show them, in competition, what a double bicep pose would look like.
Well, you have a front double bicep. That's your front double bicep.
Great. And that's to show the bicep muscle, which is right here. The size, the definition, the separation of the fibers. And also, with that pose, you see the tricep underneath, the separation between the two. Tim, could you show them a back double bicep pose? Now, this is from the back. This shows the bicep muscle again, but from the back. You'll see how that muscle and the shoulders and the triceps, how they all separate with that pose. Beautiful, isn't it? Thank you, Tim. And I want you to show them one more. Show them what a back lat spread pose looks like.
From the back.
Yes, that's the latissimus dorsi muscle.
Oh, I should have took this belt off.
That's fine. Is this big muscle on the side. This gives the bodybuilder the V shape, and you can see how they pop as he does that. Thank you, Tim. Have a seat. So again, each one of these poses specifically shows the muscle that the judges want to look at, and it shows the amount of work and the dieting and the discipline to get those muscles to separate from the other ones like that. Now, my son, Dr. Tom Dow, can you stand up, please? And I want to show them a couple more poses. All right, could you show them a triceps pose? Triceps muscle is in the back of the arm. That's this muscle back here. And as you can see how that muscle separates, it separates from the shoulder and it pops the tricep out. Great, great, excellent. Can you show me a chest shot?
Like most muscular?
Yeah. This is to contract the chest muscles, to show separation of the chest muscles. When he does that, you can also see how his shoulder muscles separate. This is a side chest shot. And it shows the arm, how it separates. It shows the chest. That's a lot of hard work with that shot. What other shots can we show him?
Abdominal?
Yeah, let's see that.
Abdominal?
Let's take the shirt off. And let's see an abdominal pose. This will separate all the abdominal muscles. As he contracts and pushes down, you'll see every abdominal muscle. They call that the six-pack. Also the side muscles, the abdominal obliques, all pop out with that shot. All right, great. Thank you. And as you can see, these gentlemen aren't even in season to compete. This is off-season right now, where they're just trying to eat a lot and gain more muscle size. During competition season, if this was 3-4 weeks out or even a week out, every single muscle would be separated. And we're going to see some slides in a few minutes of Tim on one of his competitions. But every single muscle would separate. You'll see more veins, vascular structures pop out because of the body fat that's just sucked right down to the muscle. And that's not something that I would recommend health-wise, because to get to that point, it's probably not that healthy, but it's a goal that they accomplish, and it's only done for a very short period of time. But I'd like to just show you some shots, some slides of Tim in some competitions he's done. Tim, tell us about these slides we're looking at right now. When were they done?
That was in October of
On the right slide.
2014 in Poughkeepsie at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, New York State Grand Prix. I'm now competing in a relatively new division called men's physique. So we really don't do those the mandatory poses. It's we just demonstrated, but the posing is a little different.
Can we see the next slide?
Wearing a little different.
Is that men's physique?
Right, that's men's physique.
Yeah, so you're wearing like shorts now with men's physique.
That was actually my last show. That was just this past October on the 24th.
How'd you do
In
in
the
that show?
same venue in Poughkeepsie. I got in that particular venue. That was second place. The previous one was first place. I got first place and second place the previous year.
Excellent.
First
and
and
that's
fifth.
you on the stage with some competitors?
Yeah, it's a national show. You know, I have some ambitions in trying to go pro, so that was a national show. I got 2 fifth-place finishes in my first national show. Just close, but not close enough.
2 fifth-place finishes
Right.
in your
My
first
very
national
first-
show.
My second time in the men's
That's
physique.
darn good, Tim.
That's very good.
Thank
Kidding?
you. That was my second time in men's physique. Second time ever being on
What's
stage.
that? What's that of?
That was actually when I was first learning how to eat properly. I think that was like 2011, and
What
I
a
was just
difference.
starting to realize the benefits of nutrition.
Wow, what a difference.
And that was my first competition. That was the Long Island Championships. That basically you guys encouraged me to do here in.
I remember when you used to be a patient,
Right.
and you came in and you went to the gym actually with me and my son.
Those shots, that shot again, that's between the prejudging and the finals, because it was a close show. I was able to go to the park, come home in between prejudging and the finals.
Right, and again, I want to stress to the audience, this is all natural. There are no drugs involved here. This is hard work and good nutrition.
Right, right.
Right?
There's no need to you really even supplement to a certain extent. You don't really need to do that, because you get all those supplements out of the food. You know, it's just if you're eating correctly, and like my best pre-workout supplement is coffee.
Coffee causes vasodilation,
Yes.
opens up the blood vessels.
Wakes me up, keeps
so the
me
blood can
focused.
get to the muscles too, right?
Right, exactly.
How about you, Tom? Tell us a little bit about your competition career. I guess this is from one of them, right?
That's from, yeah, that was from NPC Brooklyn Championship. I believe that was in 2010. What says?
2012 Brooklyn Grand Prix,
2012.
bodybuilding, first place.
Okay, so I've had multiple first place finishes in NPC competitions, which is the National Physique Committee, which is basically one of the biggest organizations there is out there. Amateur, of course, not professional level, but I've done pretty good through my career.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize to the audience that he's won these competitions in his weight class without doing drugs against competitors that definitely were doing drugs, and this NPC competition is not drug tested. It's not lie detector tested. It's not drug tested. So although you're supposed to be natural, a lot of the people in there are not, and he still has won against people that are definitely not playing fair in an all-natural bodybuilding competition. So it's really, the sky's the limit as long as you work hard and you do the right things, right?
Yes.
Honestly, I think you can agree with me, Tim. The guys that are all natural,
Right.
that eat right and take the
Right.
right supplements and work out hard, they actually look better, more symmetrical, and grow their muscles more symmetrically than guys that are doing the stuff.
Yeah, because they exactly. You can tell
They
the
have
guys.
longevity.
Right, and they look a little freaky, whereas,
A little?
as we mentioned before, symmetry. They may have, something that's really disproportionate with the rest of their physique.
I could, as soon as I go into the gym, most of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, I could tell the guys, and I'm sure you can, that are doing steroids and the guys that are natural. The guys that are doing steroids, I mean, they have traps that look like they were implanted, that go up to their earlobes,
Yes,
or
it's
shoulders that look like they got shoulder pads underneath, Whereas guys like you, I mean, you're in the office, right, and you got a shirt on, and people would never even know you're a bodybuilder.
That's right.
And I show them, and they look at
Same
the
here.
picture on the wall of your last competition. They go, "Who's that?" I said, "That's my son." I said, "No way, that can't be my son."
Yeah.
And then he rolls his sleeve up and gives a pose. Holy mackerel! Whereas a steroid guy, he looks like he's got shoulder pads on under the shirt he's working with. You can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah.
Let's do some more exercises here and show proper form. All right, more. Let's start doing exercises to show proper form. Tom, you can stay right there.
Yep.
Can you show us the proper form for a seated dumbbell curl? Show us, I'll tell you what. Yeah, show me the proper form first.
Both sides or one side?
One side. I want the audience, and especially the young people out there who are just starting working out to understand proper form. I want you to show them speed of rep, position of the arm, squeezing, things like that.
So the arm should start at basically a 90-degree angle from the shoulder to the elbow. It should come down, stretch the muscle, and then contract very slowly.
And if you notice, he's squeezing that muscle up on the top. And if you notice, breathing is important too. When he pulls the weight up, he's breathing out. When he lets it down, he's breathing in. Very important. All right, now take a rest for a minute. I want you to show me how, without hurting yourself, what improper form looks like.
All right.
When you see guys in the gym.
Improper form would be basically almost the same thing, but it almost looks like you're swinging the weight and your whole body's going.
See his whole body moving up and down? He's using his body to pull the weight back, whereas before he was anchored in there.
And they would generally be lifting something heavier.
Right. And they try real heavy
Right.
weight.
That they shouldn't be lifting.
They're not really lifting it with their bodies. They're
Show that
lifting
on
it
the other side.
with their upper body.
So again, proper. You're locked into position, and only your arms moving.
So you don't see his upper body moving at all right now. Improper,
Improper form.
he's dumbing that. He's pulling up and down with his back. You'll see that in the gym all the time. It's going to hurt the muscle, it's going to hurt their backs, and it's going to get them nowhere. Okay. Tim, could you stand up for a minute for me,
Sure.
please? Can you do side laterals with that weight, or is that too much?
I probably do a few.
Okay. I want you to show them improper form of how you see guys doing side laterals to the shoulders.
I'm so used to proper form.
Just one rep. Or Tom, you could show them if you want.
Improper.
I'll tell you what, show us proper.
Yeah, proper.
And then I'll get up and show you improper.
Just going up.
Notice how his upper body is not moving. It's all the sides of his shoulders lifting that weight
just
that's moving.
Focus on the muscle that you're working. You don't want other muscle groups to be in play. So you actually.
Excellent. Good. Tom, come over here for a minute. Tim, have a seat. Tom, show him improper form. Bending down.
So improper form.
Jerking the weight.
Typically, guys use a lot of weight for shoulder press. They don't need to, and they're
Swing.
throwing them up.
Right.
See how he's throwing his back to get the weight up? That's going to
Show
destroy
it
you.
from the side.
Yeah, that's going to destroy your back, and it's going to hurt your shoulder.
So proper form. Again,
Nice.
just the arms move.
All shoulders, no
That's it.
back, no upper body. Form is critical so you don't get hurt and you
This
have
side.
optimal results with your muscles. Excellent. Good. Tim, you want to can you do a standing press?
Oh, shoulder press?
Yeah, can you show proper? Yeah, actually, do it
Take a
seated
seat
over there,
right here.
Tim. Might be easier.
You want to do a seated?
Yeah, take
Yeah.
a seat right here, facing the other way.
Okay.
I hope that's not too much weight for you, Tim.
Yeah, this might be a little too heavy.
Okay, let's see.
I'll have to-
This is a seated military press for the shoulders. He's going to demonstrate proper form.
Well, I'm seated, so I like to keep my back,
Make sure he doesn't go
braced
down.
against the wall, braced against the bench, and bring it straight up, not hitting.
To 90.
Yeah.
Right.
And as you
straight
can
up.
see, as the
down.
audience can see, his arm is not breaking the 90-degree angle here.
Right.
He's coming down. Stop there, Tim, right there. And up. So pause it right there. This is a 90-degree angle.
Right. If you go, everybody you see in the gym will go all the way down and then up,
yeah,
down
like
to there,
here.
and then they'll go up. They'll sure to tear a rotator cuff muscle. If
And
they
they'll
continue to do
also hit,
They'll
and
click 'em,
there's
yeah.
there's no reason for that.
that. Right.
Just want to try to.
90 degrees, right there. Okay, thanks, Tim.
Feels good.
Good. Also, bench
Feels
pressing.
great.
Also, bench pressing. You never want to go if you're bench pressing below that 90-degree mark. No,
I could demo that also.
yeah. Let's see that. Let me see how you do that, though.
So if you're doing a bench press, you have the weights like this. You come up and come down right to about 90.
Right there.
Right.
Never below there because you'll hurt your shoulders. Even if it's a barbell and you have a straight bar going across and you're doing a bench press, those arms right there should stop there. 90 degrees. Now go down all the way and show them where not to go.
So this is the danger zone. Once you start
See how low
coming
he
down-
goes there? That'll tear up your shoulder, cause rotator cuff injuries every time. You only need to go down 90 degrees. Excellent.
That's where you get
gentlemen.
stuck too. You come down it far, you can get stuck, depending on the weight.
Tom, can you take one of those dumbbells right there? Go in the same position Tim was with the shoulder press, and show him how to do a tricep press from behind. Proper form. This is the muscle behind the arm. This is called the tricep press.
So your back is straight, weight comes here, and then up. You gotta come down.
Again, to there. Never below there. To go below there, you're going to hurt your elbows and your shoulder. And he's squeezing the backs of his arms as he brings the weight up. Great. Thank you. Give those, actually, Tim, can you stand here for a minute?
Sure.
I want to show, I'm having fun with my cameraman today. He's getting some cardio himself. I want you to show him just a front deltoid, straight arm lift up, proper form. This works the front of the shoulder.
I'm going to show you a couple of, oh, you want to do it
Stabilize it.
twice? Okay. Yeah, well, I'm going to do them individually, only because of the weight of this.
However you want to do
You
it.
can actually go with both.
Yeah.
But it's up, down, no swinging.
Right,
So
exactly.
concentrate on the muscle.
And this
And
is
you
to the
can
audience.
alternate
If you
this.
notice, Tim has both weights in here, in both hands. One actually works as a counterbalance to keep him braced and symmetrical. The other one, he's recruiting his shoulder muscle.
You can also do these seated too, but you focus. You get a little more focus on your obliques and your balancing when you do the standing. So you can do it like that, but this is a little heavy for that.
Show him improper form.
Improper
Swinging,
is easy.
throwing it up. See how he's moving his body? He's swinging the weight like a swing and throwing it up instead of, now show proper, starting from there and
Focus.
just lifting instead of swinging.
You get much better results this way.
Much better results
Because-
and much less injury. And
Show that from the side too, Tim. Why don't you go
anytime
see
you
it?
go in the
This way.
gym, you will see people swinging that weight because they think the heavier it is, the better it is, the bigger I'm going to get, even if the form is terrible. Not the truth. You get better results like this, lighter weight
That's right.
and better form.
And it gets just as heavy when you actually are focusing on the muscle.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. Put those weights in front of Dr. Dow over there, please. Tom, grab those on the bench. Okay. So now, what we're going to talk about now, everybody knows, or that's in the gym, knows how to do a rep. Everybody knows how to increase or decrease the weights. But what a lot of people don't know is how to change the set so that it's different and fatigues the muscle in different ways. So I want you to demonstrate and explain what you're doing, what a progressive set is.
All right, so a progressive set is basically a set you could do with moderate to lightweight and get the same results as doing heavyweight. Basically what a progressive set is, you're doing it in sets of different numbers. So the first number would be obviously 1, the next 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. But the way you do this set, so I start at 1, and I go all the way down. I do 1/2.
That's a half rep from the
Half
bottom.
rep from the bottom, all the way down,
And now he comes up.
full rep.
Full rep.
That's 1.
That's one repetition.
The next is 2.
Now this is
Now.
a two halves from the bottom, 2 fulls. And now he's going to do 3 halves from the bottom and 3 fulls. Now he's going to do 4 halves from the bottom. There's the halves, right?
This 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And that's 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
And that's 7. No,
No.
I'm only kidding.
And you gotta balance it. Do the
And
other arm.
the reason why he said that's the last one, that's only 20 pounds. He could probably curl 40, 50?
50, yeah,
50, he could take,
55
he could
pounds.
take a dumbbell that's 55 pounds and probably get what, 5, 6, 7 reps?
That was about half the weight.
Okay, that was 20 pounds. He did a 6-repetition progressive set. And by that last set, he couldn't do another one. That muscle was fatigued. It was done. Couldn't even lift another rep. So that's what we're trying to explain to the audience. It's not the weight. It's the failure of the muscle that's going to make that muscle change, that's going to make that muscle grow. And you could see you have much less chance of getting hurt with a weight like that than you do with a 50-pounder. And think of all the less pressure there is on your joints, less chance of injury. And that's just one different variation of how to do a set. Then there's drop sets, then there's negatives, which maybe in a future show when you come back we'll talk about all that. But I think we did a pretty good job today explaining to the audience what the potential is if you have good diet and good hard work and training and good nutrition, showing what the potential can be. Not that the audience has to get there to compete, but this is what's possible without drugs, and proper form and not hurting yourself. Gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for being on the show. You guys were excellent.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
And again, thank you for joining us on the Bridge to Health. We hope to see you next time. And thanks again. Have a great day. And if what you're looking for is real wealth, join us next time on the Bridge to Health.